Welcome back, y'all. Iron House Pick Show. I am Jay Irons. Thanks for coming again. Look, we're not going to waste a whole lot of time. We're going to get right to the meat. Potatoes. Week 1 was a doozy. Kansas State, not unranked no more. Look, I just got this in. Texas done dropped to what, number 7, number 8. Clemson, they didn't drop. LSU's now number 3. Yo, I'm telling you, shit is going crazy. It's going absolutely crazy. Week 1, Alabama looked terrible against Florida State. LSU handled business against Clemson. Arch Manning looked very pedestrian, very pedestrian against Ohio State. Now they got all the memes out about him looking like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, and I agree. My man was straight trash. All right, but anywho, we're gonna get right into it. We ain't gonna waste a lot of time. Number 1 game on the card, FIU going to Penn State. My team. You know what I'm saying? Onward State. Spread on this game is 43.5. Total was 54.5. All right, same thing with last week with Penn State with Nevada. They could have covered against Nevada. Okay, they could have covered against Nevada. They actually had the chance to cover against Nevada. Nevada scored some garbage time points, but that helped us get the over. Now I said last week I didn't like that spread. It was toggling back between 43.5, 44.5. I thought that was way too high. I did take the over. Want a little bit of change on that. And same thing goes with this week here. 43.5. That's just way too much. Way too much. The way Penn State likes to play, it's just way too much. You know what I'm saying? They're not, I'm not to say that they can't blow teams out the water. But the way they like to play just don't dictate that they would win by that much. They'd be kind of showing teams mercy, man. I wish they would go out and drop 70 on people, but that's just not the way they do things at State College. So we're going to run with the total this week with that. Give me 54.5, over 54.5. Next game on the card, San Jose versus number 7. Now number 7, Texas. Ooh, man, had a mighty hit falling. Texas, 36.5 point favorite. 51.5 is the total. Texas in this one, I think this game is a rout. Texas could easily hit the total by themselves. Similar situation with the Penn State game. Now 36.5 though. That Texas defense is good. I ain't gonna lie to you. There they are. Texas defense is really good. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take Texas minus 36.5 against a much lesser opponent. Texas should bounce back pretty good, man. They should bounce back in a major way. I think they will. Give me Texas with the spread and also give me the total. Next game on the card, Illinois at Duke. Illinois, 2.5 point favorites. The total is 50.5. I don't know if it hits that total. Now Duke ain't no slouch, but Illinois is primed to make a playoff run. I think Duke is a lesser opponent, and I think Illinois will go out there and handle business. My hat might be crooked. I don't know. Who cares? Anywho, Illinois to cover 2.5. Florida State, next game of the card. Again, East Texas A&M. They popping up, man. They playing all the majors, man. East Texas A&M played SMU last week. SMU did blow them out. Not how I thought SMU would do. We'll get into that in a few picks, though. Against a number 14 Florida State, who really just, 31-17, right? That's the score. The game was a lot worse than what that score would dictate, man. It was all FSU. All FSU. Game was not close. There's no spread on this East Texas A&M at Florida State game because it's an FCS versus an FBS. So, I'm going to take Florida State. The boy Castellanos looked really good. Florida State just had their way with Alabama. Had their way. It's the first time Alabama lost an opener in like 20 some odd years. Give me Florida State to cover in that one. The next game on the card is Iowa at Iowa State Sci-Hop early in the season. Iowa State 3.5 point favorites. The total in this one is 41.5 for good reason. Iowa traditionally stout defense, but they don't score a whole lot. Iowa State coming off a good win. They're showing their defensive prowess. They were only 14-point favorites last week, and they ended up winning. They won by like 40-some odd points. 50. I don't know. It was a lot of points they won by, though. They really whipped up on them boys. Rocco Beck had 461 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. Man, lighten it up. I like Rocco Beck, too. He's a cold young man. In this one, though, these games are typically close. I kind of like the Hawkeyes in this one, man. I kind of like the Hawkeyes in this one to cover that 3.5. So yeah, give me Iowa to cover the 3.5. I ain't saying they're gonna win, but they might get inside that, that 3.5 point spread. So let me get the Hawkeyes, man, to cover. All right, next game on the card: Baylor at SMU. Now SMU, like I said, played East Texas A&M this past Saturday, and they beat them pretty handily. I mean, obviously, right? But it wasn't really a good showing. I didn't feel like. SMU. Let's see here. If you give me a second, let me check this. I just want to see what the final score was in this game. They just didn't look all that, good to me. All right, it's taking too long to load. We ain't got no time for that. We're gonna get right back to it. Spread on this is 3. Give me Baylor, man. I think I'm gonna run with Baylor in this one, man. Baylor didn't look too good against Auburn. They did put up some points. Did manage to put up some points in that game. But like I said, SMU against that East Texas A&M team, I never even heard of that team until last week. I thought they should have beat them way worse than what they did, and they didn't. So let me get Baylor to cover that 3. I don't know if they beat SMU. That total is 65.5. That total might be a little too rich for my blood. Although SMU can score, and Baylor did give up a ton to Auburn last week. So, hey, might want to keep that total 65.5 in your back pocket. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna run with Baylor, man. Plus 2. I'm probably not gonna get to the window on this one. But if it goes up to 3.5, I'll probably get on Baylor. I'll probably take Baylor on the other side, man, on the plus side, plus 3.5. Next game on the card: Kennesaw State at Indiana. Indiana is 34.5 point favorites. Now it started when it opened up, but the line was like, I want to say it was 35.5. Total was 50.5. When it opened up and the line was 35.5, I said I would not bet this game. But now that it's back under the 5 touchdowns, I think I'm going to take Indiana with this one to roll. Kennesaw State is not a good team at all. Indiana should beat them pretty handedly. Yeah, give me Indiana to win and to cover, minus 34.5. Next game on the card: Kent State at Texas Tech. Texas Tech, they played Arkansas Pine Bluff last week, and at halftime, the score was something else playing in the background right here. I don't even know what that is. They played Arkansas Pine Bluff last week, and they destroyed them. I mean, it was 47-0 at half. Lightning ends up, rolling through Lubbock. They delayed the game. All right, so now when the game ensues, they're playing 8-minute quarters. Texas Tech still ends up scoring 67 points. Pine Bluff, I don't think they scored anything. It was 67-0. It was something crazy like that. It was insane. They shortened the quarters to 8 minutes, and they still ended up scoring 20 more points after cooling down, with the lightning storm. If that lightning doesn't come, I mean, Texas Tech probably scores 80 points. They probably score about 80 points on them boys, man. Kent State is trash. They are terrible. By far the worst, in my opinion, by far the worst team in the FBS. I think Kent State is going to lose soundly. Get put to bed. The spread on this is 48.5, total 58.5. Same thing I did last week. I took Texas Tech with the spread. All right, the spread was exactly, was it 48.5 last week? I believe it was against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and the total was 60. The total was 63.5. I took Texas Tech on both of those and won. So I'm doing the same thing this week. I'm taking Texas Tech on the spread, and I'm taking the total. All right, so Texas Tech minus 48.5, the total 58.5. Give me both of those. Utah State at Texas A&M is the next game. Last week, Utah State played UTEP. They had a good showing, because Utah State ain't really that. They're not good. They're a bottom 30 team. They had a good showing though against UTEP. But they're playing. They're going up against a whole other animal here. Texas A&M. They could have covered the spread last week. UTSA goes down. Adrian Peterson's son, who kind of runs just like him. If you ever watch him play, he plays for UTSA. If you get a chance to watch Adrian Peterson's son, he kind of runs like Pops. You know what I'm saying? It brings back nostalgia for your boy. But anywho, they ended up covering on some garbage time points. That's not going to happen this week. UTSA is one of those like middle of the road teams. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They're going to lose to majors, but in their conference, they should, kind of mix some things up and cause some havoc in their conference. Utah State is not UTSA. Spread on this game is 29.5. The total is 54.5. Look for Texas A&M to completely annihilate these boys, man. Texas A&M might win this game by 40. All right, give me them on the spread, and they probably could score 54.5 by themselves. But just to be safe, right, in case Utah State don't score, just give me Texas A&M to cover. I'm laying 29.5 with the Aggies. Next game on the card, got another doozy. Game of the week, right? Game of the week? No, it's not. All right, we got Grambling going to the shoe in Columbus. Ooh, Kelly, it's crazy how it is. Ohio State's gonna put Grambling away early. There's no spread on this game. FCS versus FBS. It's not going to come out till Friday night, Saturday morning. Ohio State going to give them a trouncing. They're going to beat them down. Man. Ohio State usually takes care of business pretty early on teams like this, man. Look for some first quarter covers and first half covers, whatever kind of cover you want. Ohio State going to do it. Ohio State is now number 1 in the country too. So after beating Texas, we all kind of saw that coming after that happened. Which is, I thought they should have been the preseason number 1, either them or Penn State, but it's neither here nor there. Grambling, like I said, is going to get obliterated. Give me Ohio State or whatever, and the over too, because Ohio State's going to score that by themselves as well. Next game on the card, Austin Peay at Georgia. Same thing as Grambling and Ohio State. There's no spread on this game. Georgia beat up on Marshall last week badly. I said last week that 39.5 was a little too much for me. Give me the total. The total was 50.5. Marshall scores a touchdown, ends up making it that total 52. So we covered on that. So if you were watching last week, you made some money off of that bet. That's not going to happen here. Austin Peay is not, they're not Marshall. Austin Peay might not score a touchdown. Georgia's defense is that good. Georgia moves up in the poll to number 4. They were at number 5. They move up a spot. And I think it's going to be a complete undoing of Austin Peay. Georgia's going to win easily. They're going to roll. Get Georgia to cover it and take the over in this one. Get you some money. Get you some extra money. Oklahoma State at Oregon. Oregon, 28.5-point favorites. Total is 58.5. Listen, last week Oregon hosts Montana State, and they beat them in convincing fashion. Now, Montana State, you might be thinking, okay, they're an FCS team, but you got to remember, Montana State was in a national championship in the FCS last season, so they're not like a, like some podunk team or whatever. They can ball on their level. Oregon is a whole different monster, man. It's lethal around every turn with them. It's nothing but trouble. Oregon is now moved up to number 6 in the nation. Will they cover that 28.5? I don't know. At home though, that half bothers me. If I could get it done, if I could wait and get it at 27.5, man, maybe I'd take it. But even still, that's still a lot against a team like Oklahoma State. I mean, not to say that Oklahoma State's the world beaters or anything like that. But the angle that interests me is the total at 58.5. Because if Oregon can score anything over 35 points, right, Oklahoma State should be able to contribute. I think Oregon probably scores well into the 40s, and if Oklahoma State can contribute to that, then we probably see the total get cracked, man. If that total drops some, I'll probably get some of that too. So if I had to pick one, like I said, I'm not going to get to the window on this one probably, but if I had to pick one, I'm probably going to take the total over the total, 58.5. Next game on the card, Troy at number 8, Clemson. Clemson's 33.5-point favorites. Total 52.5. Listen, Clemson last week, LSU handled business, man. Clemson is a good team. Don't get it twisted for a second. LSU is just better. That's really all it came down to. LSU is better. LSU, like I said before, should have won that game by 2 scores. And it happens like that. Clemson was number 4. Now they're number 8. All right, LSU moved up to number 3, and they deserved it. LSU was like that. Clemson, 33.5-point favorites against a Troy team who's okay in their conference. They down in the Sun Belt. Clemson gonna bounce back in a major way here. Get your first quarter bets in. Get your first half bets in. Get the total bet in. Get anything 52.5. Clemson might score that by themselves. 33.5. Hey, I think it's a complete undoing of Troy. Let me get Clemson minus 33.5 in the over. Next game on the card, Ole Miss at Kentucky. Ole Miss is number 20 in the nation. They came up a spot or two, I think. When it was 21, I want to say. And they came up a spot. Ole Miss is 10.5-point favorites, and the total was 52.5. Kentucky is not impressive to me. Ole Miss took care of Georgia State in typical Ole Miss early season fashion. I had Ole Miss blowing the doors off them boys. And getting a total, which they did. If I'm going away with this game, I mean, you gotta take Ole Miss. I don't think you can take Kentucky at all in this game, man. I don't. I think you gotta take Ole Miss. That half, like I said, that hook on that 10 really bothers me though. If I can get them at 9, maybe even 10, you know what I'm saying? Because the push is better than the shove, but if I can get them at 9.5, I'm going with Ole Miss all day. 52.5 is the total. These SEC matchups sometimes have a tendency to, fall short of reaching those totals. So my angle, the best angle in this game would probably be Ole Miss minus 10.5. I probably won't touch that total. I might not get to the window on this game, but if I see that Ole Miss, if I get a 10 or a 9, preferably a 9.5 with Ole Miss, I'm definitely running with it. I'm gonna take that. So yeah, give me Ole Miss, man, to win and to cover. Next game on the card, East Tennessee State at number 22. Tennessee even moved up a couple spots. They were 24, now they're 22. Look, Tennessee handled business against Syracuse, man. handle business against them boys, man. Now I know you was thinking, okay, Syracuse they ain't like that, and that's the truth. Syracuse ain't like that. All right, but everybody has Syracuse, kind of a little bit blown up, I guess. I won't say everybody, but people had Syracuse a little blown up. They had, for whatever reason, their spread in that game was only 13.5. Tennessee came there and wiped them boys out the window, man. I mean, just straight up annihilate them. And they're going to do the same here. This game ain't got no spread. It's an FCS versus FBS. This game has no spread, no total, no nothing on it. Till Friday or Saturday, for Friday night, Saturday morning. Give me Tennessee, man. I'm rolling. Tennessee. We're not going to waste a lot of time on those FCS versus FBS games, just kind of like we did last week. You know what I'm saying? Just roll right through them. Next game on the card, South Florida at Florida. South Florida beat the brakes off goddamn Boise State, boy. Man, did they ever. They tore Boise State ass off the bone. You hear me? They played number 13 Florida, who tore Long Island, the Sharks, ass off the bone. Man, I mean, they got to them. Pete, though. This South Florida, you walking into this is a different kind of animal right here with Florida, man. Spread on this one is Florida by 17.5. Total is 54.5. Give me Florida, man. Give me Florida. I don't know if South Florida comes close, man. Does the hook bother me? Maybe, but I don't think so, man. I think Florida might beat this team by 24 points, man. 28 points, something like that. I don't think this game's all that close. So give me Florida with the laying the 17.5. Next game on the card, Utah hosting Cal Poly, number 25 Utah. Welcome to the fold, Utes. Welcome to the fold. There's no spread on this game, FCS versus FBS. What am I looking for in this game? I don't really know the angle in this game. Utah handled business last week, and I mean they're obviously going to handle business here. Look for them to stay ranked against Cal Poly. Utah should beat them pretty handily, though. I'm gonna wait for the spread to come out in the total before I make anything on this, because I don't know what it's gonna look like. So with that being said, we ain't gonna waste no more time on that. We'll move on. But if you making me pick, let me get Utah with the spread. Next game, Bethune-Cookman at number 5 Miami. Miami showed up, man. They showed up. Now I ain't gonna lie, I don't fully forward the bull Carson Beck all like that, but he showed up. He did. He showed up. 205 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. They did their thing. Bethune-Cookman got their ass tore up last week as usual. They down there in the SWAC. They're not a good team. Whatever the spread is and whatever the total is, Miami's gonna get all that. Bethune-Cookman is Trittanash, all right, and Miami gonna show improve like they did last week against Notre Dame. All right, I'm gonna waste a whole lot more time, on that. Got a couple of distractions in the background. Anywho, next game on the card: South Carolina State versus South Carolina. South Carolina looked good. All right, Virginia Tech is a pesky bunch. They're not a great team, but they are. They just linger around. You know what I'm saying? And I think South Carolina handled business the way they should have handled business. They move up to number 10. I think they'll, run through South Carolina State pretty easily. We're not going to waste a whole lot of time on that either. Whatever the spread is, give me South Carolina to cover. Next game on the card, Louisiana Tech at number 3. Number 3, LSU. Man, they deserve it, man. They deserve it. They put it on them boys. LSU, 37.5 point favorite. Total is 51.5. Look, we ain't got to waste a whole lot of time on this, man. We already know what it is. Louisiana Tech, they did win, but they're not a good team. All right. LSU, however, is a monster. Louisiana Tech might not score. They might not score a point in this game. All right, give me LSU minus 37.5. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to play with that total because, like I said, Louisiana Tech might not score. You know what I'm saying? LSU might score 48 and call the dogs off, dog. Let me get LSU laying at 37 points, man. 37 and a half points. Next game on the card, number 12, Arizona State versus the unranked worst team in the SEC, Mississippi State. This game got Arizona as a 6.5 point favorite, or Arizona State rather as a 6.5 point favorite. Total 59.5. Listen, Arizona State, I don't know why the spread is so low. I don't. But give me Arizona State. Mississippi State is trash. They did win last week, but they beat a much lesser opponent. Arizona State, maybe they're not getting the love because they didn't really annihilate Northern Arizona the way they should have. But Northern Arizona did score some garbage time points, and Arizona State gonna win this game by 2 or 3 scores. I don't think Mississippi State is good at all. I ain't touching that total though. I'll tell you that. If I go anywhere near that total, it's probably gonna be the under. I think that's way too many points. But give me Arizona State, man, to win and to cover. 6.5. Next game on the card, Boomer Sooner, Michigan at Oklahoma. -5.5 for Oklahoma. Total 45.5. This game is a little strange. Only because I didn't like how either of these teams looked. Michigan, to me, they're trash. I ain't gonna hold you. Played New Mexico, they did not look good. Oklahoma, they did beat Illinois State 35-3. You know what I'm saying? Which is, maybe they kind of called off the dogs. I don't know what happened in that one. But neither one of them looked all that impressive to me. I probably won't get to the window on this one, but for the sake of making a pick, I'm going to take Oklahoma -5.5. All right, I can't trust Michigan. I think that game between them and New Mexico got way too close. I'm not going to say it got scary for Michigan at the end, but it should. I felt like they gave Mexico the opportunity to get back in that game, and that I can't rock with, man. You playing a lesser opponent, you got to blow them out. You got to get them out of here early, man. Give me Oklahoma to win and to cover. Now, last game on the card, UL Monroe at number 21. Now number 21, Alabama. Man, how the mighty have fallen. They dropped 13 spots, and they should have. I'm going to keep it a bean. I don't think Alabama should even be ranked. The way they lost to Florida State, I don't think they should be ranked. They did not look good, bro, at all. They looked real regular out there. Super pedestrian. Okay? Spread on this game is 36.5. Total is 50.5. Now look, it's UL Monroe. This is a nice bounce. It should be a nice bounce back spot for Alabama. It should be. And I'm going to run with Alabama, man. You know what I'm saying? The total is 50.5. Look, Alabama could score that by themselves, man. Maybe I'm giving Alabama a little too much respect. I don't know. I really got to see. I don't know if I even really get to the window on this one. But UL Monroe was trash. They are. They're not a good team. Give me, man, I guess if I got to pick, man, Alabama -36.5. I just don't see UL Monroe coming nowhere close to covering the spread against Alabama. Alabama's a different breed. It's a lot. We got a little shindig shenanigans going on in the background if you hear that little laughing and things. But it's all good. Hey, before I go, tune into the NFL Pick Show. All right, that was the last game on the card. Tune into the NFL Pick Show, though, because we got a lot more to bring y'all. Okay? This is a special one because it's week 1. We back. We back, baby. We back. Trying to double up on y'all ass, boy. Back to back, baby. Back to back. Anywho, we ain't gonna waste no more time. Join into the NFL Pick Show. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Jay Irons. This is the Iron House Pick Show, and I'm out.